We have our week 9 bets on a budget, the 5 best bets for the value that we could find them. Here we go.
Off a winning week 3-2. Let's go start with Kansas City versus Miami. Kansas City is -2.5. It's in Germany. I'm going to go ahead and take Kansas City. First of all, the team with more continuity, right? Kansas City's been together for a while. They have veterans on that team. Miami seems a little bit more high-flying, younger, kind of, some different pieces. Chubb comes in, and Ramsey and Tyreek Hill. It's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, I know that they've been together for more than 2 weeks, but my point being, going overseas, I think Kansas City, the more veteran team, is going to be a little bit better prepared for it. And also, really good teams coming off a bad loss. We know how much, in terms of betting them, they are a much better team to bet the following week after a bad loss. So Kansas City -2.5.
Yeah, I like that one. It's definitely the side to take. I like the way Miami is played. And, of course, they have a lot of really good things going for them. But they're just not at that point yet where they can start where you feel comfortable taking them in big games.
Well, also, you get the value. So, yes, in terms of just who's going to win, I think most people think Kansas City's going to win. But in terms of value on the spread, you're getting the hook on the right side at 2.5 as opposed to 3.5. So,
right.
If it's 3.5, might take Miami. 2.5, Kansas City's the side. The Rams +3 at Green Bay. We were kind of surprised Green Bay favored by 3 here. Feels like a play just for Lambeau Field and it's going to be cold. That seems like the only reason you would take Green Bay. I get a better quarterback. I get a better offensive, around the same offensive line, maybe a little bit worse, but still serviceable. I get better weapons. I get a better coach. Arguably a better defense. To me, the Rams are a much better football team.
I don't understand where this favoritism is coming for Green Bay, I guess. There's not a single point on this team that I can point to and go, that's why they're going, that's why they're favored at least.
Maybe the fact that they have 2 good running backs and it's going to be cold. Maybe, but still, the Rams can run the football too. So
I don't understand that one.
Yeah, no, I'm out. Arizona +8.5 at Cleveland. This is just so many points. So many points for 2 teams that aren't Cleveland's offense isn't going to put up a ton of points, right? So it's not going to be like a rout. Cleveland's not going to go out and put up 45 on you, and then you have to score 35 to stay close, right? It's going to be a 21-16 type of game, right? It's going to be a slugfest in Cleveland, cold, wet, windy. So getting that many points in a game like that, most places it's 8.5. You can find it at 8 if you're a Cleveland bettor and you want to get that number down. You can find it at 8 some places, but I think 8.5 is the side if you're getting Arizona at 8.5.
Plus, Arizona's been pretty solid for us covering the spread on a lot of picks.
We didn't pick them last week against Baltimore, but they covered that spread. It was I think 9.5. They lost by 7.
Well, so we talk about it all the time. The average NFL game is 3 to 4 points spread.
I think it's 4. Yeah.
So I mean, just by the numbers. That's a solid bet. That's a solid bet. If they're going to give us that money, we're going to take that money.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's go Indianapolis. Another value bet here, favored by 2.5. The hook is on your side. They're at Carolina. You could argue better quarterback. I think Gardner Minshew is probably more productive right now than Bryce Young is. I think the better offensive line's in Indianapolis, and then they can run the football more effectively. I think the better defense is in Indy. I like Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce on the outside against Carolina, who does not have standout corners except for J.C. Horn. I think Indianapolis is the side, and again, you get the value at 2.5. They can win by a field goal, and you are covered, so I'll take Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indianapolis here for sure. Is there anything to like or special in Carolina in the slightest? That would even make you sway?
The potential of Bryce Young, but I mean, he hasn't showcased it a ton this year.
I mean, he just has nobody around him also.
There's not a lot around him now.
So just by an overall roster perspective, I think Indianapolis is the definite side.
Yeah, and it's not like they're going to a cold. It's not an indoor team going to a cold place. They're going to Carolina. It might be a little wet, but it's not going to affect the game at all.
Yeah.
Cincinnati -3 versus Buffalo. I would feel a ton better if it was, again, 2.5, getting that value, but I'll still take it at 3 with the chance maybe it pushes, but I'll take Cincinnati to win by about 4. I think it's a 27-23 game against Buffalo. I think Joe Burrow is fantastic, and I just don't know what I'm getting week to week with Buffalo. They looked decent this past week. Did they come back down to earth? Most likely. I guess not back down to earth, but did they have one of their off games? Probably. Yeah. I think they're somewhere in the 20 to 23 point range. I think Cincinnati's closer to 24 to 27, so I'll take Cincinnati -3.
Yeah, Cincinnati here. Joe Burrow is starting to get back to the football that he can play. It's an anomaly when he goes out and doesn't do well, so it feels good to see it coming back to the mean. And I think Cincinnati's just going to be the way to go on most picks from here on out.
This feels like a 5-0 week to me.
Does it?
It really does.
I mean,
that's another game in contention for game of the week, but we ended up going with the divisional matchup.
Yeah.
Dallas and Philadelphia. I think divisional, at Philly
Physical,
just feels more game of the week ish.
Plus,
but that's a game that's going to be a great game to watch. Cincinnati and Buffalo. Can't wait. That's the Sunday night game, so that'll be going.
Yeah, it'll be really good. Run us back through.
Kansas City minus 2.5 in that Germany game versus Miami. The Rams +3 at Green Bay. Arizona +8.5 at Cleveland. Indianapolis minus 2.5 at Carolina. And Cincinnati -3 versus Buffalo.
Perfect. Need a good week of bets. We are 53% on the season, so over 500. But looking to get
that feels like a 5-0 week
betting.
to me. That feels like a 5-0 week.
Minimum 4-1.
I do. Yeah, I don't feel great about the Arizona one.
Hey, it's okay.
Because would it shock me if Cleveland throws up a goose egg on them?
I mean, no, not with that defense.
Every other bet, though, I feel really good about.
Something to keep an eye on.
Feel good about it.